That's of course dependent on where you're located. If you have a hotel in Copenhagen, it's a totally different ball game. It's probably one of the most successful hotel markets in Europe at the moment. It's been for quite a long time. More observing more hotel rooms totally every year, and still with a very high occupancy and average rates. So that's one thing. The reason why they're very successful is that they have extremely big amount of international guests. They have the Scandinavian Airlines, which have their use Copenhagen as a hub airport, and that actually also effect on both on the business and the tourism for that city. Outside Copenhagen, in the rest of the country, of course, there is many differences as well, but one really big issue always for the type of hotels that I work with is employees. Right now, here in the month of May, is the most busy month totally of the year on business travel, but also in the weekends on leisure travel. So therefore, having enough or acquiring employees is really a big issue, because there is lack of trained employees in Denmark in our industry. So that's the first thing. Secondly thing is also, and that's not a new thing, it's been going on for a long time, and it's also a little bit of the thing that we're going to talk about today, is working on your clients to book directly. It's really a big issue, because the big OTAs grab more and more of the business coming into hotels today, which is the most expensive way to gain clients. But for those who have city hotels, it's a quite easy way to do it, and they're very professional, and they are in many ways trying to build up markets even stronger than they are today. So that's another thing. How can we get more direct business in the future on the business side? The leisure side, it's not that important yet, but if you're a city hotel in a bigger city, obviously you get a lot of your inventory from these OTAs, also on the leisure market, but it's a little bit easier to control it there. So these are the two main factors. Obviously, from individual hotels, economy is quite important as well. Everybody is, of course, afraid of what's happening with the trade war with America, with USA. Here in Scandinavia, we also talk a lot about what's going on in Russia and how that will affect on Scandinavia. In the future, need to spend, unfortunately, more and more money on our defense, which means they will actually be taken away from something else. And what would that be? We just made a huge contract with the state on conference and meetings. Can they afford to do that in the future as well, which is very important for meeting hotels. So the economy obviously is a very big issue as well, although the Danish economy is really good and has been for quite a long time. But that's also effects on the lack of employees, because they can easily get jobs elsewhere in other industries, and how can we be compatible with that to make sure that we get many of the youngsters in the new employment market? How can we have them to get into the hospitality business? So these are the three main issues for both individual hotels, but also for chains, for sure. First of all, you need to have a strategy where you actually have planned what to do and how to, so to say, catch the clients when they visit your website or whatever. I will always argument for you have to have a good website and a good booking engine before you start anything else. If you don't have that, it's waste of money and time. If you build on newsletters, if you build on loyalty programs, etc., and people can't see, or it's difficult to book in or whatever. You need to invest in your website and your booking engine to be ready to do all the other things. We have a loyalty program, we have a guest program, we send out newsletters 2 to 3 times every week, to make sure, and that's only on the leisure market, to make sure to have people to book directly. And so it's very important that you build up a strategy, have good suppliers, and make sure that you run the market as professional as possible, because the competition is enormous, and you have it from domestic hotels, but you also have from your neighbor hotels. Our big competitor is Sweden, and not so much Norway, but especially Sweden and Germany. It's very easy to go there, and it's very cheap compared to Denmark. So we need to make sure that there's other things that we can compete on. So the strategy and the tools combined, that's my opinion, that if you're not ready for that, it might be a better strategy saying that we throw everything over to the OTAs and the deal sites to market and to sell your hotel, and then you don't own your own clients, your customers own your clients, which is in the long run very bad. So trying to communicate with your own clients, that's very important for my opinion. It depends on what type of hotel you are or where you are based. In the countryside, I for sure would make a strategy, reason to go. If you don't have any reason to go, if you're just a poor, boring hotel with rooms that actually, why should you stay there? It's a little bit difficult to survive, and you probably only have one type of clients that actually you can target, and that is those who book for the price, because of the price. But in general, I would say that have a reason to go, have, as I said before, the website, the online booking engine. Make sure that you have the same rates to all suppliers, so it doesn't really matter, and the best rates on your own website, which you are allowed to now. You couldn't do that for 2 years ago. Without losing the contracts with the OTAs. Now you can do that. So make sure your own house is working. You know exactly what rates you're throwing out to the market. It can be a little bit difficult with some of the OTAs that actually just throw out your rate to everyone in the world, and actually people are cutting on the commission, and suddenly you see rates in some places where you don't even know what rate it is. But in general, make sure that your own house is running the way it should, and you control the rates, and therefore work on getting to know and your clients, and so they know you and why they should book directly. That's really, really, really important. And I see more and more hotels doing that. Book directly next time and get 10% off and things like that. But if you don't have the system to run it, and the booking engine which can't make it happen, then you lose the clients for sure. The market is still the buyer's market, and it's been that for a long time. The price has been a little bit more easy to control, but the loyalty only goes this far. If they can't find what they're looking for, then they for sure can find another supplier very easily. So that's my always go-to strategy. We need to have a settled house, otherwise we will lose in both the short and the long run. First thing, sort your own house, have the right booking engine so people actually can find the rates and can make a booking very easily and quick. If that's not the case, you will lose immediately. You will send all your clients over to the OTAs because they are very clever, they're very professional, they have great systems, and so that's really. Then the rate parity is very important. So if you always can find a cheaper rate with the OTAs than you can with your own system, you will always also lose again, and you lose the trust for sure. Why should I book directly if it's more expensive? And then thirdly, I've discovered even big chains and other destinations that didn't have rate parity. They was actually more expensive to book with huge chain hotel than it was to book with the OTAs, which I find totally stupid and unnecessary. So control your rate strategy. Know exactly who you want to send the good rates to, So you make sure that actually you keep the direct business high as possible. But that's, again, it starts with my number one. Get the right website and the right booking engine in place before you think of all these things, because otherwise you lose all the time. I've seen it so many times with hotels that they haven't invested enough in that, and they say, oh, we can afford it, but I would say you can't afford not to do it. So get the right suppliers and work with them and make sure that this is the strategy that everybody follows. Then you have a chance of getting success. I think, first of all, you need to make sure that the communication that you send out to the clients is something that they're interested in. Make sure that you always see it from the client side. What's in it for me? It's like anything else, communication. If you tell me a lot of things that I can't really use, that I haven't asked for, that I'm not interested in. So all the time measuring on the information you send out, do they actually open it? Do they want this type of information? Because otherwise it's like, seamless marketing your products or your hotel on the social media, and you never ever measure. You just think, oh, it's great, I had all these clicks. But is it sending any business back? Because is it just awareness? Or awareness is good. You have to build on awareness, otherwise people won't buy you. But you can't live over awareness. You need to make sure that there's relevant information. And that's what I think. The more direct contact you can have with people, the more direct services you can give to the people. And it could be also the electronic service, but at least the guest feels that in the communication, in the service, in everything that you offer to the client, you feel that they know who I am, they know my needs, they know exactly, they want to make sure that I feel fine when I'm with you. And there is also some advantages for me when I book this and this and this. And always tells the guest that this is what we want to do with your visit or the communication. Always see it from the guest side, because I think a lot of organizations just seem to send out all kinds of rubbish. And what's the point of sale in it? And then you can always have the big discussion about online check-in or check-in through persons. And I know that probably it's also a matter of age, because I think that I like to see people in the face, to see a welcome person who tells me, oh, I'm happy to see you here. Other people, they think that it's so nice that I don't have to see any people, I can just walk into my room. So let the guests have the choices. That's probably the most important thing in all this personalization, both on the marketing that you're sending out, but also on the service that you provide. I think that it's really nice to come into a place. It doesn't have to be a hotel, it could be a shop or of any kind, that you feel that the person in front of you really sees you and wants to make sure that everything is understood, and you have the possibility of have the best day you can get in a hotel. You should really try this. I remember once that I have heard from a client that stayed in a hotel I worked with at that time, and they said, well, we were staying at this hotel here, and it was a fantastic atmosphere and everything. And then in the evening, the owner said to everyone in the restaurant, I'm sorry to interrupt you, we have a birthday we need to celebrate here. He said, I would like to give a glass of champagne for free over here. And everybody stood up, and then one guest asked him, whose birthday is it that we're celebrating? Well, it's my dog. It's 10 years old. It's lying down here, and I just want to give a glass of champagne. And these people I met on a fair, and they said, we never forget it. It's fantastic. It's maybe a little bit extreme, but it's just showing that when people put their personality in something, it's easier to find than it is on an electronic device. So. The whole AI, I think that in some ways it will help, but also in other ways, because I've clicked on something one day is not sure that I want to be bombarded with 100 of the same messages the next 2 weeks. But that's how it is, and for sure, my opinion is that we also have to be reasonable to see how would this actually be obtained from the person in front of you or in front of the scheme. Can they see what we're telling them? And if not, maybe we should do it a little bit more simple. And I like humor everything that we do in marketing also, but it's not sure that it works on everyone. Somebody could say that it's a little bit unserious and not professional, but I think done in the right way, that would also be a good way. So I think AI can be used a lot. We already use it a lot in some of the programs that we run, and some of it we totally behind. So but we for sure is making it also to be a bit more efficient and make sure that we can follow our plans, and that for sure is something that can help you with. So you don't have to think on everything. Something is actually done automatically through AI. Well, I'm always a fan of that. If you run a hotel, then you concentrate on your guests and delivering the services that they expect. And then you have some good suppliers and partners who can work with you on what you're not so good at and still important. So again, if you're having a very old-fashioned booking system, very old-fashioned cost system, it just makes it even more difficult for you to deliver the services that the guest wants. So the right supplier, and it's actually, this sounds like I'm doing a sales promotion for Guestcentric. I'm not. I'm just saying it's really, really important that you have the right partners and make sure that that what's really important for the guest runs, and then what's happening in the house, that's your responsibility. That's where your partners can't help you. But the shelf around it has to be delivered by good partners who knows exactly what type of hotel that you are, so you can get your help, the help that you need. In Denmark, everything is on computers. I mean, you can go to your tax authorities and correct your tax yourself, and of course they check it if it's right what you've done. But everything is your bank. I never go to a bank anymore. I never speak to anyone with a bank. Everything is done online. So Denmark has for a long time in the hotel industry been very far with all these online activities. I think that's really, really important in the future to be on top of that. It's difficult because there is so much. It's difficult because there is so many suppliers. But again, if you have a good partner, that together with that partner, you can start building on your journey on that platform. It's much more easier for a single hotel or a domestic or smaller hotel to find out which way to go, because there's no need to have everything. You just need to have what's needed. And there you need some professionals, some suppliers who can help you out with that, and that you trust, and build your journey with these, because it will be more and more important, because the coming clients, which is the young people who are used to IT all the time, they're used to being online 24/7, and they expect everything to be purchased online. They expect everything to be able to find out. Sometimes, well, my children is grown up, and I ask them, well, why don't you call them? Call them. No. I go to the website, I go to the Instagram, I go to, they know everything online. And if it's not there, they'll find it. And the last thing they do is call them. So if you're not online, if you're not top of mind with these type of clients, you lose them. And who gets them? Well, for sure, the OTAs gets a lot of them, and that is the most cost-effective way you can get a client. So, but it's better than no clients for sure.